Hi, my name is Alex Carlucci with Gustan Associates. Going to talk to you about credits, lender credits and seller credits. Let's start off with seller credits. So when you're buying a house, and let's use a simple example, $200,000, and you're going to go conventional, VA, FHA, or jumbo. Here's the rules of that, of maximum credits allowed. So if you go with jumbo, it's 2% of the purchase price. So it's $1 million. The most you can ask for is 2%, which would be $20,000. Now, you can't ask for $20,000 unless there are $20,000 in credits. You cannot use those closing cost credits towards your down payment. So, if there's not $20,000 in closing costs, you have to renegotiate your contract and maybe make it $990,000 with $10,000 in closing cost credits. You're under the 2% rule, and there's $10,000 in closing credits, and that all works. So keep that in mind. Seller credits have to only credit what there are in cost and escrows and your insurance and discount points altogether. Those are considered closing costs. So buying the rate down would be a cost. Your year worth of insurance you got to pay up front would be a cost. All your escrows for your taxes and insurance that go into an escrow account would be considered a cost that can be applied to. And then the underwriting fee, appraisal fee, and title charges can also be rolled into that cost. So jumbo is 2%. Conventional is 3%, VA is 4%, FHA is 6%. So FHA is the best. We like to take people down the FHA route because of the closing cost credits. It's the best way to get into the house with very little money down, because closing costs can be very, very expensive. So closing costs on average are $7,000 to $8,000 on a purchasing house. And in some states of Florida, it's 10 to 12. Pennsylvania is 10 to 12. It gets higher and higher the different states you're in. But some states have, 5 to 6, but most of them are around $7,000 to $8,000. So when you're thinking about your down payment, you also think about the closing costs. And the one way to handle it is get a seller credit for it. And always negotiate your seller credit. It makes your life so much easier. Not many people have much money in their banks. Most of you need these lender credit or these seller credits. So utilize the seller credits as much as you can. Now, there's another thing that, let's say the seller credit saying, I'm not giving that guy that much credit. No, I'm not doing it. I want that money. My house is worth that. I'll give him $2,000 credit. Let's say the closing costs are $6,000. Well, you can do what's called a lender credit, where we can give you the credit. Now, what we have to do that, it's not free. We have to raise your rate. And the higher the rate, the more the credit. So we can raise your rates and we can give you a lender credit. Now, in conjunction with the seller credits and the lender credits, we cannot exceed what the costs are. Again, back to discount points to buy your rate down, the title, the insurance, the escrows, all that. We can't exceed that. So if the seller's giving you some, we're giving you some, together they can't be over that. We can never credit your down payment. Your down payment can never be credited. And in some states, especially Illinois, Florida, Michigan has some, Georgia's got some small ones. There's things called tax prorations. Those can offset your down payment. What those are costs that sellers incurred in the last year, and they owe it for you because you're going to be paying that bill in the future for them when they live there. So that they have to give you that closing. Those can offset your down payment, but seller credits nor lender credits can get in the way. Now, the good thing is there's no limit to lender credits, but the banks out there aren't giving 6% credit at a higher rate. That rate would be off the charts. The most you're going to see is 2 to 3 maximum. So that's the max you're going to get from a lender is 2 to 3 points. You're not going to get 6 like you can with FHA. So if you go conventional and you can only get 3%, you can raise your rate to the highest rate and possibly get the other 3 to get the 6% if you need it. So that's one way to do it if it doesn't work. Hopefully your ratios aren't really tight, because when you go to the higher rate, you get higher and higher DTIs. So you got to be careful on that. But that's how lender credits work, that's how seller credits work, that's how they work together, and that's how you get into a house with the least amount of money out of your pocket. Yes, it may cost you a little bit more monthly, but it's better than having to try to come up with, and not buy the house at all and come up with that $8 or $9 grand of your own. A lot of people don't have it. That's the best way to do it. So I hope you like this video. You want to see more on this, go to gustanshow.com, GUSTANCHO.com, or give me a call at 630-915-7550. Thank you.